I will teach you how to feel it, not just to think it or say it or wish for it, but to feel it as though it were already true. Because everything you have ever called reality was once a feeling that hardened into fact. You see, life is not responding to your words, it is responding to your vibration. Your vibration is the emotional tone of your belief. You may say, I am rich, but if you feel lack, life will echo lack. You may affirm love, but if you feel loneliness, you will see only the reflection of loneliness. The key is not in the saying, but in the feeling behind the saying. Close your eyes for a moment and think of the one thing you long to experience. It may be wealth, healing, love, or peace. Now, instead of asking when it will come, I want you to shift your awareness and feel as if it has already arrived. How would it feel if the miracle had already happened? Would your shoulders relax? Would your breath deepen? Would a smile quietly rise from within? That feeling, that inner sensation, is the signal to the universe that you are already there. The moment you feel it real, you have crossed the bridge from wanting to being. Everything changes the instant you accept the new feeling as natural. The universe doesn't need time to deliver what you are already embodying. It simply rearranges itself around your new identity. That's why true change never takes time. It only takes acceptance. To feel it is to believe without needing proof. To feel it is to live in the unseen reality with such conviction that the seen must bow to it. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of consciousness. You are the operant power. You command reality, not by effort, but by inner alignment. The great mistake is to wait until circumstances change before you allow yourself to feel fulfilled. But the truth is the opposite. Circumstances change because you have felt fulfilled first. You cannot wait for proof. You must become the proof. You must awaken in the feeling of I am. I am already loved. I am already successful. I am already free. And as you remain faithful to that inner state, the outer world will faithfully reproduce it in form, place, and event. So tonight, as you lie down to sleep, do not drift into the same old state of worry or waiting. Instead, feel the wish fulfilled. Feel it until it becomes more real than the room around you. Feel it until you no longer seek it, because you have already found it within. I will teach you how to feel it, because once you do, you will never chase another thing in your life. You will simply embody it, and life will bow in obedience to your inner command. The power is not out there. It is not in the people, the system, or the opportunity. It is within you, in your ability to feel the unseen as real. And once you learn to do that, you will understand that all things are possible to the one who feels it true. Feeling is the secret door to creation. Everything you desire in this life, wealth, love, success, peace, begins not with thought alone, but with feeling. Thought creates the idea, but feeling gives it life. You can think of abundance all day long, repeat affirmations, visualize the outcome, but if your inner state does not feel that abundance is real, you are simply imagining a possibility, not a reality. I know creation does not answer your words. It responds to your emotional conviction. The invisible world within you is the blueprint of the world around you. Every experience that shows up in your life is a mirror reflecting what you have already accepted as true in feeling. You may think you want something different, but your emotions are broadcasting a different signal. The universe listens not to your lips, but to your vibration, the emotional tone that underlies your thoughts. You can say, I am successful, but if you feel small, uncertain, or unworthy, the creative power within you takes that feeling as the instruction. It molds your world accordingly because feeling is the evidence of belief. To feel something is to experience it inwardly before it becomes visible outwardly. Feeling is spiritual creation, the moment when the unseen takes form in the imagination. The outer world is nothing more than the shadow of your inner state. If you wish to change the shadow, you must change the light within. The feeling of already being the person you wish to become is the key that unlocks every door. It is not pretending or forcing, it is assuming. You assume the inner posture of fulfillment until it feels natural. Once the feeling becomes natural, life must reflect it back to you, for the universe cannot deny what you have already accepted as real within yourself. When you truly feel that you already have what you desire, something extraordinary happens. You stop chasing. You stop trying to force outcomes. You stop doubting. You begin to live from the end rather than toward it. You begin to act, think, and speak as the fulfilled version of yourself. And by doing so, you invite circumstances, people, and events that match that vibration. Feeling is not waiting for evidence. The moment you feel it real, you step into the state of creation. Think of the feeling as the soil in which your seed of thought is planted. If the soil is fertile, meaning filled with belief, gratitude, and conviction, the seed will grow into visible form. But if the soil is dry with doubt, fear, or lack, even the most brilliant idea cannot take root. Feeling is the nourishment of your desire. It is the heartbeat of manifestation. So, to create consciously, stop asking when it will come and start feeling as though it already has. Let the feeling of fulfillment rise in you until it becomes the most natural thing in the world. That is the secret door. And once you walk through it, reality will follow. Imagination creates reality. Everything that exists in your world first lived in the unseen realm of thought and emotion. The chair you sit on, the home you live in, the career you have, even the relationships you experience, all of it was once imagined by someone before it became visible. The world you call real is nothing more than crystallized imagination, shaped and solidified through sustained emotional focus. The images you hold within your mind, combined with the feelings that accompany them, are the forces that mold your external world. Your imagination is not a daydreaming tool. It is the workshop of creation. It is the divine power within you that paints the invisible picture from which your life takes shape. Most people use imagination unconsciously, creating circumstances they do not want by dwelling on fear, worry, and limitation. Yet the same power that creates struggle can just as easily create freedom if directed consciously. Whatever image you consistently hold with feeling will eventually solidify into form. For the outer world must mirror the inner vision. To imagine is to summon. When you visualize something vividly and feel it deeply, you impress it upon your subconscious mind, the creative power that governs your reality. The subconscious does not reason or argue, it accepts whatever image you feed it through repetition and emotion. If your dominant inner movie is one of success, joy, and abundance, your life will play out accordingly. If your inner movie is filled with doubt, lack, or fear, then life will echo that vibration without fail. This is why you must become the guardian of your imagination. The world around you may appear fixed, but it is constantly being shaped and reshaped by what you hold in mind. Your current reality is the shadow of your past imaginal acts. To change the shadow, you must change the picture you project from within. Instead of reacting to appearances, close your eyes and see beyond them. Imagine the life you truly desire, not as something to come, but as something already done. Feel yourself living it. Walk through the scene in your mind with conviction, hearing the sounds, sensing the atmosphere, and allowing the joy of it to rise naturally within you. That inner experience is not make-believe, it is creation in motion. You do not need to know how it will happen. Imagination will take care of that. The outer world will rearrange itself in ways you could never plan, once your inner picture becomes stable and consistent. Everything begins in the unseen. The seen is only its expression. When you hold the right image long enough, the world bends to meet it. So never underestimate a single moment spent imagining with feeling. That moment is a seed planted in the soil of reality. Water it with belief and gratitude, and soon it will bloom into visible form. What you imagine today will walk toward you tomorrow. Because imagination sustained and felt is creation itself. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and live as though your desire is already done. This is the secret art of creation, the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between what you desire and what you experience. Most people wait for something to happen before they allow themselves to feel happy, confident, or secure. But the truth is reversed. It happens because you feel it first. Life mirrors your assumption, not your wishes. Whatever state you occupy inwardly is what becomes your reality outwardly. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled means to mentally and emotionally step into the version of yourself who already possesses what you desire. You are no longer hoping for it, you are being it. You move through the world not as someone waiting for change, but as someone whose change has already occurred. This is not fantasy, it is faith in action. It is the conscious decision to embody the end result right now, without needing to see physical proof. The power of assumption lies in the fact that your subconscious mind accepts whatever you feel to be true. It does not differentiate between imagination and experience. When you assume a state and feel it as real, your subconscious reorganizes everything, your habits, thoughts, interactions, and circumstances to reflect that inner conviction. You begin to think differently, speak differently, and act differently because you have inwardly become the person who already has what you wanted. This inner transformation is what causes the outer transformation to unfold naturally. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled requires consistency and sincerity. You cannot merely repeat words, you must feel them until they become natural. For instance, if you desire financial abundance, you do not wait for money to arrive before you feel secure. You close your eyes and feel the relief, the confidence, and the freedom that wealth brings. You breathe as though it's already yours. You imagine yourself doing, being, and having from that state, and soon that feeling becomes your new normal. When the feeling becomes familiar, reality follows, because you are no longer vibrating from lack, but from fulfillment. The law of assumption operates silently but unfailingly. The outer world is nothing but your inner state expressed. If you assume doubt, life gives you reasons to doubt. If you assume fulfillment, life gives you proof of fulfillment. So rather than asking when it will come, ask yourself, how would I feel if it were already mine? Then dwell in that answer, sleep in it, walk in it, speak from it. The moment you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you begin to notice subtle shifts, new opportunities, new ideas, new energy flowing toward your goal. It is not magic. It is the natural response of a universe obedient to your inner world. When you live as though it's already done, creation has no choice but to catch up. The assumption becomes fact, and your wish, already fulfilled within, becomes visible without. Your inner state outpictures itself. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of what you hold within. Every event, relationship, and circumstance you encounter is the mirror image of your dominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Life does not happen to you, it happens through you. The invisible state of your consciousness is the cause, and what you call your reality is the effect. When you understand this, you stop trying to fix the reflection and begin transforming the source, your inner world. Most people believe that their emotions are responses to life, but in truth, life is responding to their emotions. What you feel consistently becomes the frequency you transmit to the universe, and the universe can only echo that vibration back in form. If your inner state is one of confidence, joy, and faith, you will naturally attract situations that affirm those qualities. But if you dwell in fear, doubt, or resentment, life will show you circumstances that mirror that energy. The outer world is a faithful servant. It has no power of its own. It merely reflects what you have accepted as true within yourself. This is why change must begin inside. You can move to a new city, find new people, or start a new job, but unless your inner state changes, you will keep encountering the same patterns in different forms. The characters may shift, but the story remains the same. Once you realize that your outer world is a mirror, you stop blaming circumstances and stop mastering your inner vibration. Every emotion, thought, and belief becomes sacred because you now know it is the blueprint of tomorrow's experience. Your inner state is the atmosphere you live in even before the world sees it. It is your unseen signature, constantly broadcasting your identity to the field of creation. You cannot hide it because vibration precedes action. Even before you speak, life has already read your energy and is arranging itself accordingly. This is why pretending doesn't work. You cannot fake a vibration. You can only shift it by truly changing how you feel about yourself and your life. So, if you want to transform your outer reality, begin by cultivating inner harmony. Instead of fighting appearances, rise in consciousness. Feel gratitude before the evidence appears. Feel peace before the problem is solved. Feel love before the relationship arrives. As you maintain that inner tone, the outer world must align with it. Not because you forced it, but because it is law. Your life is always showing you who you are being. Every event is feedback from your own consciousness. When you change the vibration of your conviction, when you truly believe and feel differently, life will instantly reorganize itself to match that new state. The outer world has no choice but to obey your inner command. So protect your inner state, nurture it, refine it, and watch as the mirror of life reflects your transformation back to you in perfect detail. Detachment is power. Once you have felt your desire as real, your only task is to release it and trust the unseen to arrange the scene. True faith does not chase, beg, or demand. It rests in knowing that the moment you accepted the wish fulfilled within, creation was complete. What follows is simply the unfolding of that invisible reality into visible form. Detachment does not mean indifference or lack of care. It means confidence, the quiet certainty that what you desire already exists in the unseen realm and will reveal itself at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Most people delay their manifestation because they keep checking, worrying, or doubting whether it will come. In doing so, they are actually affirming that it is not yet here. The feeling of not yet creates more waiting. But when you have truly felt it real, when you have imagined the end so vividly that it feels natural, you no longer need to monitor the process. Just as a seed grows in the soil without your constant digging, your desire unfolds in silence, once planted in the subconscious. The more you trust, the faster it grows. Detachment is the art of surrendering control while remaining firm in belief. You no longer concern yourself with how it will happen, when it will happen, or through whom it will come. Those questions belong to the intellect, not the creative power within you. Your role is to sustain the inner state of completion, to rest emotionally in the feeling of it is done. The rest is not your work. It is the work of the unseen intelligence that governs all manifestation. When you are attached, you send mixed signals to the universe. One moment believing, the next moment doubting. This inattention blocks the natural flow of creation. Detachment, however, is relaxation. It is the deep breath of faith that says, I have received it already. That state of calm expectation is magnetic. It draws the fulfillment to you effortlessly because you are no longer resisting it with anxiety or disbelief. You are aligned with it, allowing it to come in its own rhythm. Consider the moments in life when you stopped worrying about something and only then it appeared. The call you waited for, the opportunity that came out of nowhere, the problem that resolved itself. That is the power of detachment. When you stop clinging, you create space for the universe to deliver. Holding on tightly communicates lack, letting go communicates trust. So after you have felt the wish fulfilled, let the matter rest. Do not keep revisiting the seed you've planted. Live from the end, act naturally, and keep your inner peace steady. The invisible is always working on your behalf. Detachment is not giving up. It is allowing the inevitable. Once you felt it real, it is real. And reality will soon prove what your inner faith already knew. You are the operant power. Nothing happens outside your consciousness. For all transformation begins and ends within you. Every experience, every condition, every circumstance you encounter in life is the direct result of your inner state. Consciousness is the root cause. The outer world is merely its reflection. When you truly grasp this, you stop looking for power outside yourself. You stop blaming luck, people, or situations, and you begin to recognize that you are the author of your own reality. The stage of your life changes only when you change the actor within. To be the operant power means you are not a passive observer of life, but an active creator. The thoughts you entertain, the emotions you sustain, and the assumptions you accept as true are the creative forces shaping your world. You may believe that circumstances control how you feel, but it is always the other way around. Your feelings create your circumstances. You are the one giving meaning, direction, and energy to every experience through the lens of your consciousness. When you shift that lens, the entire scene before you changes. Many people wait for external change to fix their inner state. They think, when I get the job, I'll feel successful, or when I meet the right person, I'll feel loved. But that is illusion. The outer cannot change until the inner does, because the outer is born from the inner. When you decide to feel successful now, to feel love now, and to feel abundant now, you begin to alter the vibration of your consciousness. Life, being a mirror, must then return to you experiences that reflect those new feelings. You never attract what you want, you attract what you are. As the operant power, you must take full responsibility for your inner world. Every assumption, every belief, every feeling you persist in is a command to reality. There is no external force deciding your fate. There is only the law of consciousness responding to your inner movement. Once you understand this, you stop reacting and start creating. You realize that nothing is fixed. Everything can be rearranged by the power of your assumption. This realization also frees you from fear. If all power is within, then no condition has power over you. You can stand calmly in the midst of chaos, knowing that by returning to the right inner state, harmony will be restored without fail. The moment you shift your consciousness, the world begins to reorganize itself to reflect your new position. So claim your power. Stop waiting for signs or permission. You are the center from which your entire world radiates. Every transformation you seek, whether in health, love, or success, begins with a single decision: to assume responsibility for your consciousness. You are the dreamer and the dream. You are both cause and effect. You are not subject to life. Life is subject to you. When you finally accept this truth, you awaken to your divine authority. The realization that you are and have always been the operant power. In the end, everything you've heard comes down to one timeless truth. Your inner world is the cause of your outer world. Feeling is the doorway, imagination is the tool, assumption is the bridge, and faith is the power that carries you from the unseen to the seen. You do not need to struggle, chase, or beg life for what you want. You only need to feel it real, to see it within, and to live as though it's already done. When you master the art of inner alignment, life becomes effortless. You stop reacting to circumstances and begin commanding them from within. You learn that every desire is already fulfilled the moment you accept it in consciousness. The outer world simply takes time to catch up with the inner decision. You were never waiting on the universe. The universe was waiting on you to believe. So step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Trust your imagination as the creative power it truly is. Detach from doubt. Rest in faith and allow the unseen to shape the seen. Everything you desire already exists within you, and once you feel it as real, it must come forth, for that is law. Thank you for listening. Thank you for opening your heart and your mind to these truths. And most of all, thank you for daring to believe in your own power. Because once you feel it, you'll never live the same way again. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. Not with your ears, but with your spirit. There is a shift happening. Can you feel it? Something within you is being called higher. But the question is, are you ready? Many ask for change, but few are prepared to receive it. A shift does not come with comfort. It comes with the unsettling of everything familiar. It comes with the removal of what no longer serves you. It comes with the divine rearranging of your life. The mistake most people make is they resist the shift. They cling to old ways, old thoughts, and old versions of themselves. But what you hold on to is what keeps you bound. If you refuse to release, you refuse to rise. God is shifting you into something greater. But before you can step into it, you must let go of what is holding you back. Do you trust the unseen? Do you trust that the discomfort you feel now is part of a divine plan? Stop looking at your circumstances as obstacles. They are not barriers, they are signs. Every delay, every closed door, every ending, it is all orchestrated to move you to where you are meant to be. If you are ready for this shift, then walk in it. Stop waiting for proof. Stop waiting for confirmation. Speak as if it is already yours. Feel as though you have already arrived. The moment you do, reality will bend to match your faith. Every great transformation begins within. Long before circumstances shift, before doors open, before the visible world reflects change, something deep within must first be renewed. The world around you is only a mirror, reflecting the assumptions, beliefs, and inner conversations that dominate your mind. If you desire a new reality, you must first create it internally. Most people believe that change is something that happens to them, something external that must first appear before they can believe it to be real. They wait for signs, for proof, for tangible evidence that something is different. But in truth, the process is the opposite. The external world is not the cause, it is the effect. The true shift happens first in the unseen, in the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you nurture, and the convictions you hold. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant within it, whether seeds of abundance or seeds of lack, will eventually grow into your experience. The challenge is that many people unknowingly plant weeds while wishing for a harvest of prosperity. They say they desire change, yet their inner dialogue contradicts their spoken words. They may long for love, yet they harbor thoughts of unworthiness. They may dream of success, yet they entertain fears of failure. The mind cannot produce a life beyond its dominant thoughts. What you dwell upon persistently becomes the blueprint of your reality. This is why it is not enough to simply wish for change. A wish is weak. It is fleeting, unstable, and easily swayed by doubt. A true shift requires something deeper, a conviction, a knowing, an unshakable assumption that what you desire is already yours. It requires the discipline to reject old thought patterns, to silence the voice of fear, and to embrace a new state of mind that aligns with the life you seek. Consider the power of assumption. Every moment you are assuming something about yourself, about life, about what is possible for you. These assumptions are not neutral. They are creative forces shaping your path. If you assume struggle, struggle will find you. If you assume ease, doors will open effortlessly. The mind, when left unchecked, tends to repeat the same familiar narratives, reinforcing the same reality over and over again. But the moment you take conscious control of your assumptions, you take control of your destiny. This is where most people falter. They attempt to change outwardly while remaining the same inwardly. They work harder, push more, force circumstances to bend, yet nothing seems to change. Why? Because their core belief system has remained untouched. They have tried to rearrange the shadows without altering the light source. True transformation is not about manipulating the external. It is about shifting the internal. When the mind fully embraces a new state of being, the outer world must conform. It has no choice. Think of a person who has been struggling financially. They may work tirelessly, pursue every opportunity, and still find themselves barely getting by. This is because they have not yet shifted their inner state. Deep down, they may hold beliefs about scarcity, about money being difficult to attain, about success being reserved for others. Until these beliefs are uprooted and replaced with new ones, beliefs of abundance, ease, and deservingness, their external reality will continue to reflect lack. But the moment they truly shift in their mind, when they fully embrace abundance as their natural state, life will begin to reshape itself in miraculous ways. Opportunities will present themselves, resources will flow, and what once seemed impossible will become effortless. The same applies to love, health, personal growth, every aspect of life. The world responds to your dominant inner state, not to fleeting wishes or half-hearted affirmations. This is why change must begin with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind daily. Observe your inner conversations. Are they aligned with the life you desire, or are they reinforcing the very reality you wish to escape? Once you become aware, the next step is discipline. It is not enough to notice negative thoughts. They must be replaced with new ones. This is not an overnight process, but a continuous practice. Just as a gardener tends to his land, removing weeds and nurturing the seeds he wants to grow, so must you tend to your mind. You must consciously assume the state you desire, think from it, and persist in that assumption even before any evidence appears. This is where faith comes in. Not blind faith, but the faith that comes from understanding how reality truly works. The moment you shift internally, the external must follow. It may not happen instantly, but it will happen. The world cannot help but reflect the dominant state you hold within. Your job is not to force or struggle, but to maintain that inner knowing until the outer world catches up. The key is persistence. Many people begin this process with enthusiasm, but the moment they see no immediate change, they revert to their old ways of thinking. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up each day to check if it has grown. True transformation requires patience. Hold firm to your new state, trust that it is already done, and refuse to be swayed by appearances. In time, you will see the undeniable truth. The shift always begins in the mind. And once the mind has changed, reality has no choice but to follow. Change is a natural and constant force in life, yet many resist it. Not because they do not want better, but because they fear the unknown. The familiar, even when it is painful, feels safe. The mind clings to what it has known, even if that very thing is the source of suffering. But resistance to change does not stop the shift from happening. It only delays it. It prolongs the struggle, intensifies discomfort, and makes the process more difficult than it needs to be. Imagine standing at the edge of a river, holding onto a rock while the current pulls at you. The flow of life is urging you forward, but your grip remains tight. You fear that if you let go, you might be swept away into chaos. Yet what you do not realize is that the current is carrying you towards something greater. The struggle, the exhaustion, the pain, it all stems from resisting the natural flow. If you would only release your grip, you would find that the river knows exactly where to take you. This is how resistance operates in our lives. It comes in the form of doubt, fear, and attachment to old patterns. People say they want change, yet they refuse to let go of what is keeping them bound. They want abundance, but hold on to a scarcity mindset. They desire love, but cling to past hurts. They seek success, but remain trapped in self-doubt. And so, despite all their efforts, nothing truly changes, because deep down, they are still holding on to the version of themselves that belongs to the past. Surrender is the key. But surrender is not weakness. It is not giving up or becoming passive. True surrender is the willingness to trust the unseen, to step forward without needing to control every detail, and to release the need to know how everything will unfold. It is understanding that there is a greater intelligence guiding your path, one that operates beyond logic and human reasoning. The ego thrives on control. It wants certainty. It wants guarantees. It wants to map out every step before moving forward. But the nature of transformation does not work that way. If you demand to see proof before believing, you will forever be stuck in the same loop. The shift happens only when you allow yourself to believe first, when you trust that what you desire is already unfolding, even if there is no visible evidence. Many people delay their progress because they are waiting for conditions to be perfect. They tell themselves they will take action when they feel ready, when they have more money, when they receive a sign, when circumstances align. But what they do not realize is that waiting itself is a form of resistance. The universe responds to movement, to faith, to action taken in belief, not to hesitation and doubt. The longer you wait, the longer you remain in the same reality. Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means releasing attachment to how things must happen. It means freeing yourself from the weight of overthinking, from the need to force outcomes, from the habit of second-guessing yourself. It means stepping into the unknown with confidence, knowing that whatever lies ahead is meant for you. Fear is the greatest anchor holding people back. The fear of failure, the fear of making the wrong decision, the fear of disappointment. But what if you reframed fear? What if, instead of seeing it as something to avoid, you saw it as a sign that you are on the right path? Growth always feels uncomfortable at first. Every great shift requires stepping beyond what is familiar, and with that comes uncertainty. But uncertainty is not your enemy. It is the space where miracles unfold. Trusting the unseen means believing that what you desire is already on its way, even if there are no signs yet. It means choosing to feel the joy, the abundance, the success, the love before it arrives. Because the moment you stop resisting and start embodying the new reality, everything around you will begin to shift. But trust requires patience. Many give up too soon because they do not see instant results. They revert to old patterns, returning to their comfort zone, and then wonder why their life remains the same. The truth is, reality reshapes itself in response to the inner world, but it takes time for the physical to catch up with the spiritual. Impatience is another form of resistance. It is an unconscious declaration that you do not truly believe the shift is happening. This is why surrender is so powerful. When you stop resisting, stop overanalyzing, stop questioning every step, you create space for transformation, you open the door for the new to enter, you move with the current instead of against it, and suddenly, what once felt impossible begins to unfold effortlessly. The shift is already in motion. The question is, are you flowing with it or fighting against it? Your ability to move into the life you desire depends entirely on your willingness to let go. Let go of fear. Let go of control. Let go of the belief that you must struggle. When you surrender, you align yourself with the flow of life. And in that flow, everything you seek will find you. Everything in your life is shaped first in the unseen before it manifests in the physical world. Whether you realize it or not, you are always imagining something. Your mind is constantly picturing events, outcomes, and possibilities. The question is, are you imagining what you desire, or are you reinforcing the same patterns that keep you stuck? Because what you persistently see in your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously, prepares the way for what unfolds in your reality. The power of imagination is often overlooked because it seems too simple. People assume that change requires effort, struggle, and external action, yet they fail to recognize that action alone, without a shift in perception, leads to the same results. The outer world is only a reflection of the inner world. You cannot experience a reality you have not first accepted and embodied within your mind. When God is shifting you into a new season, you must align yourself mentally and emotionally with where you are going, not where you have been. Too many people sabotage their progress by continuing to see themselves as they were, instead of embracing who they are becoming. They pray for abundance while still seeing themselves as struggling. They ask for love while holding on to the belief that they are unworthy. They seek opportunities while picturing failure. And so, despite their desires, they remain in the same reality because their imagination is still tied to the past. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the creative power that brings forth reality. It is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. If you can see it clearly in your mind, feel it as if it is already happening, and persist in that vision, the world around you must eventually conform. This is not wishful thinking. It is a fundamental law of life. Every great shift begins with a change in perception. Before a door opens in the physical world, it first opens in your imagination. If you cannot see yourself walking through it, you will not recognize it when the opportunity presents itself. If you cannot picture yourself as successful, confident, and fulfilled, no amount of effort will override the deep-seated belief that you are not. This is why aligning your imagination with the new reality God is leading you into is crucial. Most people are ruled by their external circumstances. They look at their current situation, and instead of using imagination to create something new, they reinforce what already exists. They say, this is just the way things are, and so they continue living the same story. They allow temporary setbacks to define them permanently because they cannot see beyond the moment. But those who understand the power of imagination do not let present circumstances dictate their future. They persist in their vision even when nothing seems to be changing, because they know that the unseen reality is just as real, if not more real, than what their senses perceive. The key is persistence. A single moment of visualization will not create lasting change. You must make your new reality so familiar in your mind that it becomes your natural state. It is not enough to imagine something briefly and then return to old doubts and fears. You must dwell in the new state, feel it, embody it, live as if it is already true, because in a deeper sense, it is. The moment you accept a new reality internally, the external world begins to shift to match it. There is no need to force or struggle. The work is in shifting your awareness, in maintaining the vision despite appearances, in trusting that what you see within will soon be seen without. When you remain faithful to the unseen, when you refuse to let doubt shake your conviction, you align yourself with the flow of divine movement. Suddenly, doors open effortlessly. Circumstances rearrange, people and opportunities show up at the right time. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Many fail because they allow themselves to be swayed by temporary conditions. They begin to imagine a better future, but the moment they face opposition, they return to their old way of thinking. They let fear, frustration, or impatience take over, and in doing so, they undo the work they had begun. The secret is to persist, to remain unshaken, to trust that the shift is happening even when there is no visible evidence yet. God is moving you into a greater reality, but you must prepare the way. You must make room for the new by letting go of the old doubts, old fears, old assumptions. You must see yourself as already having received what you desire. Walk in confidence, think from the new state, and refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts it. Because whatever you persistently see in your mind, you will eventually hold in your hands. Faith is the unseen bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. It is the quiet certainty that what you desire is already yours, even before there is any visible proof. Without faith, you remain bound to what your senses perceive, unable to move beyond the limitations of your current reality. But with faith, you step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that all is unfolding exactly as it should. Most people struggle with faith because they have been conditioned to believe only in what they can see. They trust the physical world more than the unseen power shaping it. They pray for change, but still allow fear and doubt to control their thoughts. They ask for guidance but hesitate to take steps forward unless they see clear signs. This is why so many remain stuck, because they are waiting for external confirmation before they truly believe. But faith does not work that way. Faith is the knowing that precedes the evidence, not the result of it. When God is shifting you, He does not always give you the full picture. He may not reveal every step or provide immediate proof of what is happening behind the scenes. This is because faith is required for the process to unfold. If everything were visible from the beginning, there would be no need for trust. Faith is the key that unlocks the next level. It is the willingness to step forward even when the path is unclear, to believe in the unseen reality even when the physical world shows no sign of change. The moment you decide to walk by faith, you disconnect from the limitations of the old reality. You no longer let circumstances dictate your beliefs, and you refuse to let delays shake your confidence. You hold firm to the knowing that everything is already working in your favor, even when there is no visible proof. This unwavering trust is what allows the shift to fully take place. On the other hand, is what keeps you trapped. The mind will always try to pull you back into familiar patterns, whispering thoughts of fear and uncertainty. It will tell you that nothing is changing, that you are wasting your time, that you are foolish for believing in something you cannot yet see. But doubt is the enemy of transformation. It builds walls where there should be bridges. It blinds you to the opportunities that are already forming. It convinces you to settle for less than what is truly meant for you. Faith requires discipline. It is not a passive state, but an active choice, moment by moment, thought by thought. When doubts arise, you must replace them with truth. When fear creeps in, you must affirm what you know in your spirit. When circumstances seem to contradict your vision, you must remind yourself that the physical world is only a delayed reflection of the unseen. Walking by faith means living as if what you desire is already yours. It means carrying yourself with the confidence of someone who knows the outcome is certain. It means thinking, speaking, and acting in alignment with the shift even before it fully manifests. This is not pretending. It is embodying the truth of the new reality before it becomes visible to the world. Many people sabotage their own transformation because they waver between faith and doubt. One moment they believe in the shift, and the next they allow circumstances to shake their conviction. They pray for a breakthrough, but continue to speak as if they are stuck. They affirm success, but still worry about failure. This back and forth creates resistance, slowing down the process. The only way to fully step into the new reality is to remain unwavering in faith. God does not require perfection, but He does require trust. He is shifting you for a reason, and the path is already laid out before you, but you must walk it. You must take each step in faith, knowing that even when things seem uncertain, everything is working in divine order. Your faith is not wasted. Every moment you trust in the unseen, every time you choose to believe despite appearances, you are strengthening the bridge that connects you to your new reality. Eventually, the physical world will catch up, and what was once invisible will become undeniable. But by then, it will not be a surprise. You will have already known it was yours all along. When God shifts you, the old must crumble. The things that once seemed secure may begin to fall away. Relationships you depended on may dissolve. Opportunities you thought were essential may slip through your fingers. Routines that once felt comfortable may no longer fit. This is not a sign of failure. It is not punishment. It is preparation. Many people resist change because they fear loss. They hold on to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves them. They pray for a new season, but cling to old circumstances. They ask for transformation, but resist the necessary breaking apart of the past. Yet, for something new to be built, the old must be cleared away. A structure that is no longer stable must be torn down before something stronger can take its place. If God is shifting you, it means He is making space for something greater. But too often, people fight against this process, trying to hold on to what is collapsing instead of trusting the new foundation being laid. They mistake endings for setbacks when, in reality, they are setups for something better. Imagine a tree that has outgrown its pot. If it stays confined to the small space, its roots will become tangled, its growth will be stunted, and eventually it will begin to wither. The only way for it to thrive is to be removed from its limited container and placed in a larger space. But that process is not comfortable. The roots must be disrupted, the soil must be shaken, the tree must be transplanted before it can grow freely again. This is what happens when God shifts you. He removes you from environments that can no longer sustain you. He closes doors that would limit your potential. He allows certain people to walk away because they are not meant to go where you are going. If you try to hold on to the past, you will only delay the expansion that is waiting for you. It is human nature to seek stability, but true stability is not found in external circumstances, it is found in trust. If your foundation is built on people, positions, or possessions, you will feel shaken when they are removed. But if your foundation is built on faith, you will understand that every loss is making way for something greater. Letting go is difficult when you do not yet see what is ahead. The in-between phase, the space between the old falling apart and the new taking shape, can feel uncertain. It may feel as if everything is unraveling, but in reality, things are falling into place. What looks like destruction is actually reconstruction. What seems like an ending is actually the beginning of something better. Think of a house undergoing renovation. The walls must be knocked down, the old flooring must be ripped up, dust and debris cover everything. For a time it looks like chaos, but only because the new structure is still being built. If you walked away from the process too soon, you would think the house was ruined. But if you trust the vision, you know that what is being created is far better than what was there before. When God shifts you, you may not immediately see the beauty of what is being built. You may only see the rubble of what was. But in time, the purpose will become clear, the new doors will open, the right people will appear, the path that once seemed uncertain will make perfect sense. And when you look back, you will realize that everything that fell apart was never meant to stay. Many delay their transformation because they refuse to release the past. They hold on to relationships that no longer align with their journey. They remain in situations that keep them small. They try to force doors open that were meant to be closed. But God will not allow you to shrink into something He is calling you to outgrow. If He is removing something from your life, it is because He is making room for something. The fastest way to embody change is to live as if it has already happened. When God is shifting you, He does not ask you to wait for proof before you believe. He asks you to step into the new reality with full confidence, even before it is visible. Most people make the mistake of waiting until their circumstances confirm the shift before they act differently. But that is not how transformation works. The shift happens first in your mind, in your feelings, and in your actions. Then the outer world rearranges itself to match. Everything in your life is a reflection of your inner state. If you continue to think, feel, and behave as you did in the past, your reality will remain the same. But the moment you start aligning your thoughts and actions with the new version of yourself, everything begins to change. This is not pretending. This is faith in action. Many people pray for a shift but continue to live as if nothing is different. They ask for financial abundance but still speak and think from a mindset of lack. They desire a new opportunity but continue to dwell in doubt and hesitation. They seek love but still believe they are unworthy. This is why they remain stuck, because they are waiting for external change before they allow themselves to shift internally. But the truth is, your external world cannot change until you. If you truly believe the shift is happening, then act like it. Speak as though it is already done. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows their prayers have been answered. Carry yourself as if you are already living in the reality you desire. This does not mean forcing things or trying to manipulate circumstances. It means fully embodying the mindset, emotions, and behaviors of the person you are becoming. Consider someone who is stepping into a new career. If they constantly doubt themselves, question their abilities, and fear failure, they will continue to act like someone who is uncertain. And because of that, opportunities will slip away. But if they begin to embody the confidence of someone who already belongs in that role, they will make different decisions. They will walk differently, speak differently, and attract different circumstances. Their internal shift will create an external shift. The same principle applies to every area of life. If you want to step into abundance, start making decisions from a place of abundance. If you desire love, start showing up as someone who is already loved and valued. If you want to walk in purpose, begin acting with the clarity and conviction of someone who knows they are guided. The world will respond to the energy you embody. Living as if the shift has already happened does not mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to let the current circumstances dictate your beliefs. It means holding on to the vision so firmly that nothing can shake your confidence. It means knowing that just because you do not see something yet does not mean it is not already unfolding. Imagine a seed planted in the ground. Even though you cannot see it growing, you trust that it is. You water it, nurture it, and expect it to bloom. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is working. You simply trust the process. The same is true for your shift. It is happening whether or not you see immediate evidence. Your job is to align yourself with it, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Many people delay their transformation because they continue to dwell in old patterns. They think of themselves as the same person they were before. They allow fear to control their actions. They hesitate instead of moving forward boldly. But transformation requires full commitment. You cannot step into a new reality while clinging to the mindset of the old one. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in, moments when nothing seems to be changing, moments when the old reality still appears in front of you. Do not let that shake you. Remember, what you see now is simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. The new reality is already forming. Stay firm in your knowing. Every great transformation begins with someone who dared to believe in what they could not yet see. The people who change their lives are the ones who refuse to wait for proof. They live as if the shift has already happened, and because of that, the world reshapes itself to match their conviction. So step into your new reality now. Speak from it, think from it, feel from it. Let your actions be guided by the certainty that it is already yours. When you do this, the shift will no longer be something you are waiting for. It will be something you are living. And soon, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. The shift God is bringing into your life is already in motion. It begins in your mind, takes root in your faith, and manifests through your willingness to surrender, trust, and embody the change before it appears. The old must crumble so that the new can rise, and resisting this process only delays what is meant for you. But when you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the new reality God is preparing, everything begins to move in your favor. You are not waiting for the shift, it is waiting for you. The moment you step into it with unwavering faith, doors will open, paths will clear, and what once seemed impossible will become inevitable. Live as if it is already done, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Thank you for listening, and may you walk boldly into the shift that is calling you. There exists a power within you so vast, so limitless, that the moment you align with it, reality bends to your will. Not through struggle, not through force, but through the effortless art of assumption. Most people beg for what is already theirs. They plead, they wish, they hope, never realizing that the very act of longing affirms its absence. But the one who knows the truth speaks with certainty, and the world obeys. Today you will speak as the one who already has. You will declare what is yours, not as a request, but as a fact. Say these 4 lines with conviction, and watch as the unseen moves to make them real. It is done. You are not waiting, you are not asking, you are confirming. That which you desire is already a living reality in the unseen. I am one with my desire. There is no separation between you and what you want. It is not outside of you. You and your desire are already united. Everything is unfolding perfectly. There is no need to doubt or control the how. The unseen forces are aligning everything in your favor. I rest in the knowing that it is mine. No more chasing, no more worrying. You let go and trust, for what is truly yours can never be lost. When you speak these words, speak them as truth, not as a hope, not as a wish, but as a knowing. The moment you do, reality must conform. Your imagination is the foundation of your reality. Every experience, every event, and every encounter in your life is a direct reflection of the images and assumptions you consistently hold within your mind. What you perceive as the external world is not separate from you, but rather an outpicturing of the state of consciousness you dwell in. Change your inner world, and your outer world must follow. The unseen power of imagination governs everything, yet most people are unaware of its influence. They believe life happens to them, that circumstances are random, and that their struggles are the result of forces beyond their control. But this is the great illusion. The truth is, life is responding to your dominant thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. What you persistently entertain in your mind must eventually be expressed in the world around you. If you live in a state of fear, expecting the worst, life will mirror that expectation. If you assume yourself to be unlucky, unworthy, or incapable, the world will reflect those beliefs back to you, confirming them over and over. But just as easily, if you assume success, abundance, and joy, your world will reshape itself to make those assumptions real. The key is understanding that imagination is not something that merely exists in fleeting daydreams. It is the creative force behind all things. The house you live in, the clothes you wear, the relationships you have, everything first existed in someone's imagination before becoming physical. Nothing comes into existence without first being imagined. The same applies to your life. You must dare to assume the reality of what you desire before it appears. You must live in the feeling of it already being yours, for the world will always conform to the state of mind you occupy. Most people sabotage themselves by allowing their imagination to be dictated by their senses. They look at their current circumstances and assume that this is all there is. They allow the evidence of the present moment to determine what they believe is possible. But the one who understands the power of imagination does not fall into this trap. They refuse to be limited by what they see and instead persist in the unseen reality they have constructed in their mind. What you believe to be true, you will prove to be true. This is why people remain trapped in cycles of lack, struggle, and disappointment. They assume failure, they assume rejection, they assume difficulty, and life faithfully provides them with more of the same. The mind is like fertile soil, and whatever seeds you plant, whether good or bad, will grow. You must choose to plant only those ideas that align with the life you wish to experience. The moment you claim something in your imagination, it begins to take form. It may not appear immediately, but that does not mean it is not already unfolding. Many give up too soon, dismissing the unseen as unreal, when in truth, all creation happens first in the invisible realm before materializing. The wise do not look for immediate confirmation from the outside world. They rest in the knowing that what they have assumed will inevitably harden into fact. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the reality you have chosen within. No matter what your senses tell you, no matter what others say, you must persist. If you can see yourself living the life you desire, if you can feel it to be real, then it must become real. This is an unbreakable law. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Dare to imagine boldly. Do not limit yourself based on what has been or what seems possible. The only limits that exist are the ones you accept. Assume the highest, believe in the unseen, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. The only moment that holds power is now. Manifestation is not something that happens in the distant future, it is always unfolding in the present. Most people live in a state of waiting, believing that their desires will come true someday, but that day never arrives because they have placed their manifestation in a future that never exists. The future is only an extension of the now. If you do not assume it is already yours in this moment, you will continue to push it further away. Everything you seek is already here. It is not something outside of you that needs to be chased or acquired. The very act of wanting implies that you do not yet have it, and as long as you hold on to that feeling of separation, you reinforce its absence. The only way to bring what you desire into your experience is to claim it in the now, not as a hope, not as a wish, but as an undeniable fact. Speak it, feel it, and accept it as reality. When you do, the world must conform. Most people make the mistake of waiting for external confirmation before they believe. They want to see their desires materialize first, and only then will they feel secure in their assumption. But this is the opposite of how manifestation works. The external world is a reflection of the internal world, not the other way around. If you wait for circumstances to change before you change your mindset, you will wait forever. Instead, you must assume it is already done, and the world will rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. The present moment is not just where you are, it is where your power resides. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak is shaping your reality right now. You are never manifesting in the future, you are always manifesting in the present. The question is, what are you claiming in this moment? Are you affirming lack, doubt, and delay, or are you declaring that your desire is already yours? To shift your reality, you must step into the version of yourself that already has what you seek. Speak, think, and act as that person now. Do not wait for the evidence to appear, become it first. If you desire wealth, assume the feeling of financial freedom now. If you desire love, embody the energy of someone who is deeply cherished now. If you desire success, move through life as if you have already achieved it. This is not pretending. It is aligning with the truth that already exists in the unseen. There is no power in waiting. The more you delay, the more you reinforce that your desire is separate from you. The moment you say it is mine and truly believe it, the universe begins to move. It is not your job to figure out how it will happen. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the assumption that it is done. The means will reveal themselves. The right opportunities will arise, and the world will bend to your belief. Many people sabotage their manifestations by allowing doubt to creep in. They declare that their desire is already theirs, but then they check their current reality for signs, questioning if it is really working. The moment they entertain doubt, they undo the work they have done. You must stand firm, even when there is no physical evidence. Even when circumstances appear unchanged, you must persist in the knowing that it is already done. Time is an illusion. There is no waiting when you understand that creation happens in the now. The instant you shift your state of being, reality must adjust to match it. You do not need to force or chase anything. Simply assume, feel, and trust. When you live in the state of fulfillment now, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. The universe does not respond to empty words or hollow affirmations. It responds to feeling. Feeling is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation, the invisible force that transforms thoughts into tangible reality. Words alone hold no power unless they are infused with belief and emotion. You may repeat affirmations endlessly, but if they lack conviction, they will produce no results. It is not the words themselves that shape reality, but the feeling behind them. Every thought you entertain carries a vibration, and that vibration is determined by the emotion it stirs within you. If you say, I am wealthy, but internally feel lack, the universe does not hear your words. It hears your feeling of scarcity. It responds not to what you say, but to what you truly believe to be real. This is why so many struggle with manifestation. They speak of abundance while feeling poor. They affirm love while feeling sick. The dominant feeling always wins. Doubt is the greatest enemy of manifestation. It is the subtle feeling that contradicts your desire and prevents it from materializing. You may affirm that you are abundant, but if beneath your words lies a feeling of uncertainty, that doubt will override your affirmation. This is why blind repetition of affirmations is useless unless you internalize them as truth. Instead of merely saying the words, you must feel the reality they represent. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to experience the emotion of your desire already fulfilled. Let it move through you as if it were happening now. The imagination is a powerful tool for generating feeling. When you visualize yourself living in the reality you seek, immerse yourself in the experience. Do not observe it as something distant or separate from you. Step into it. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, see the details vividly. If you desire wealth, imagine yourself handling large sums of money, feeling the weight of it in your hands, experiencing the ease and confidence it brings. If you desire love, feel the warmth of companionship, the security of knowing you are deeply cherished. These feelings are the bridge between the unseen and the seen. What you persistently feel must harden into fact. There is no other possibility. Reality is not shaped by effort or struggle. It is shaped by the state of being you occupy. When you fully accept the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the world must conform to match it. This is not wishful thinking or mere positive thinking. It is an unshakable law. Do not wait for external validation. Do not look to your current circumstances for confirmation. The moment you feel it real, it is real. The time delay between feeling and manifestation is only an illusion created by the physical world. If you persist in the feeling, reality has no choice but to follow. Live in the state of already having, and it will be yours. The universe does not grant wishes, it reflects your state of being. Feel it now, and it must come to pass. Faith is the foundation of all manifestation. It is the unwavering confidence that what you have declared is already yours, even when your senses suggest otherwise. Faith does not question, does not hope, does not waver, it simply knows. When you operate from this deep inner conviction, nothing can stand in the way of your manifestation. The only thing that delays your desire is doubt. Doubt weakens the bridge between your inner world and its external reflection. It creates resistance, forcing you to oscillate between belief and disbelief, between certainty and fear. Until doubt is removed, your manifestation remains suspended, waiting for you to fully claim it. Most people sabotage their manifestations because they mix faith with doubt. They affirm their desires, yet constantly look for proof in the physical world. The moment they do not see immediate results, they allow doubt to creep in. They question if it is working, they wonder if they are doing something wrong, they search for signs, and in doing so, they undo the very work they have set in motion. Faith does not seek validation from the external world. It does not need evidence to believe. Faith is the evidence. It stands firm in the knowing that what is unseen will inevitably be seen. Doubt is nothing more than a habit of the mind, a conditioned response based on past experiences and societal beliefs. It is not real unless you make it real. The moment you accept doubt as truth, you give it power. The mind is always creating, always shaping reality according to the dominant belief it holds. If your dominant belief is faith, your world will reflect certainty, progress, and fulfillment. If your dominant belief is doubt, your world will reflect confusion, stagnation, and delay. The choice is always yours. You do not need to struggle to have faith. You do not need to force belief. Faith is natural, It is already within you. Think about something as simple as the rising sun. You do not question whether it will appear each morning. You simply know it will. That same certainty must be applied to your manifestations. You must know that your desire is already yours, that it has been set in motion the moment you claimed it, and that nothing can prevent its fulfillment unless you allow doubt to intervene. The key to unwavering faith is persistence. The external world may present challenges. Your senses may try to deceive you, but none of it matters if you refuse to accept anything other than your desired outcome. You must see with the inner eye, beyond appearances, beyond logic, beyond circumstances. The world you see is only a reflection of past beliefs. It is not a fixed reality. The moment you shift your inner conviction, the outer world must follow. To strengthen faith, remove all hesitation from your words and thoughts. Speak as though your desire is already a fact. Do not say, "I hope it happens." Say, "It is done." Do not say, "Maybe it will come." Say, "It is already mine." This is not self-deception. This is the language of creation. When you speak with authority, the universe must respond accordingly. The energy of certainty carries far more power than the energy of wishful thinking. Doubt has no power of its own. It only has the power you give it. The moment you refuse to entertain it, it disappears. Every time you affirm your faith, you weaken doubt. Every time you persist despite appearances, you take another step toward realization. It is a mental discipline, a commitment to the unseen truth over the visible illusion. When you truly embody faith, the process becomes effortless. You no longer wonder when your desire will arrive, because you understand that it already exists. You no longer seek signs because you know the universe is already working on your behalf. You no longer feel the need to ask repeatedly because you recognize that one declaration, spoken with conviction, is enough. Stand firm in your knowing. Do not waver. Do not question. Do not allow the outside world to dictate what is possible for you. Faith is the only reality. When you hold it without compromise, manifestation is inevitable. The moment you declare what is yours, the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring it into form. But to allow this process to unfold, you must release it. Detachment is the final act of faith, the silent knowing that what you have asked for is already on its way. It is not your job to force, chase, or control how it comes. The more you try to manipulate the process, the more you introduce resistance, delaying what is already meant to be yours. True mastery in manifestation comes when you can ask, believe, and then let go. Many struggle with detachment because they do not trust the unseen forces at work. They feel the need to constantly check, worry, and question whether their desire is manifesting. This attachment to outcome stems from fear. Fear that it might not happen, fear that they are doing something wrong, fear that they are missing something. But fear is the opposite of faith. The moment you hold on to doubt, you disrupt the natural flow of manifestation. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that nature is taking care of it. You water it, give it sunlight, and allow it the time it needs to bloom. The same principle applies to manifestation. The desire you have set forth is already growing beneath the surface. It does not need your constant interference. It needs your trust. Detachment is not indifference. It does not mean that you stop wanting what you desire. It means that you are so certain of its fulfillment that you no longer obsess over it. You no longer beg for it, worry about it, or wonder when it will arrive. You simply move forward, living as though it is already done, knowing that what is yours can never be denied. The paradox of manifestation is this: the more desperate you are for something, the more it eludes you. Why? Because desperation carries the energy of lack. When you chase, you affirm that it is not yet yours. When you worry, you declare uncertainty. When you force, you operate from a place of resistance. But when you detach, you signal absolute trust. You move from wanting to knowing, from doubt to certainty, from anxiety to peace. And in that state, your manifestation flows to you effortlessly. Many believe that taking constant action will bring results faster, but manifestation is not about doing more, it is about aligning with the state of already having. Inspired action is different from forced action. Inspired action flows naturally, it feels effortless and aligned. Forced action, on the other hand, is driven by fear and impatience. It is the restless mind trying to control what is beyond its grasp. When you trust, you act from intuition rather than desperation, and every step you take leads you closer to your desire. To practice detachment, shift your focus away from waiting. Do not look at the clock. Do not measure time. Do not check for signs every moment. Instead, immerse yourself in the joy of the present. Act as if your desire has already manifested. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the fulfillment. The more you embody the energy of already having, the faster it arrives. Understand that the universe knows the perfect timing. What you seek is not just about you. It is part of a larger orchestration where everything aligns in divine order. If something is taking time, it is not because you are being denied, it is because the perfect conditions are being arranged. Trust that what is meant for you is already secured. Your only job is to maintain the feeling of certainty and let go of the need to control. The final test of faith is your ability to detach. If you can walk away from your desire knowing that it is already yours, you have mastered the art of creation. You will see that the moment you stop chasing, it starts coming. The moment you release, it arrives. And when it does, you will realize it was never about forcing reality to change. It was about changing yourself to match the reality you desire. Your words are not just sounds, they are commands to the universe, instructions to your subconscious mind, and seeds planted in the field of reality. Every word you speak carries creative power, shaping your world in ways you may not even realize. The life you live today is a direct reflection of the words you have spoken, both consciously and unconsciously over time. If you want to change your reality, you must first change your words. Many people speak carelessly, unaware of the power behind their words. They say things like, "I never have enough money, I always get sick, nothing ever works out for me," and then they wonder why life keeps presenting them with the same struggles. The universe does not question whether what you say is good or bad, right or wrong, it simply responds. It takes your words as truth and arranges circumstances to match them. When you repeatedly affirm something, you are reinforcing that reality, bringing it into existence with greater strength. If you want to transform your life, you must become intentional with your words. Speak only of what you wish to create. Declare abundance, even when you do not yet see it. Speak health, even if you are unwell. Affirm love, even if you feel lonely. This is not about denying your current reality. It is about choosing the reality you wish to experience. Your words serve as the bridge between where you are and where you desire to be. Words spoken with belief carry immense creative power. A simple phrase spoken with conviction can bring forth miracles. This is why affirmations are so effective. When you consistently declare something as true, you train your mind to accept it, and once your mind accepts it, your external world begins to align with it. This is not wishful thinking, it is a fundamental law of creation. What you internalize and affirm repeatedly will eventually manifest in your physical world. The key is to speak as if it is already done. Do not say, "I will be successful one day." Instead say, "I am successful now." The future is an illusion. Everything exists in the now. When you declare something in the present tense, you impress it upon your subconscious mind as a current reality, not a distant possibility. Your subconscious does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts what you consistently feed it. This is why negative words are so dangerous. Many people speak against themselves without realizing it. They say, "I am so unlucky, I always mess things up," or "I am not good enough." These statements are not harmless, they are instructions. When you repeat them, you are affirming limitations and reinforcing a reality you do not want. The subconscious mind takes everything literally. If you constantly affirm struggle, it will create conditions that confirm your words. But the good news is you can reverse this. You can begin right now to speak words of power, words that uplift, words that create the life you truly desire. Begin affirming, everything is always working out for me. I am worthy of all the good in the world. I am attracting endless opportunities. I am surrounded by love and abundance. At first, your logical mind may resist these statements because it has been conditioned to believe otherwise. But if you persist, if you keep repeating them with conviction, they will take root. And once they take root, they will grow into tangible reality. Words, when spoken with emotion, accelerate manifestation. It is not enough to say the right words. You must feel them. Speak them with passion, with certainty, with the absolute belief that they are true. When you declare, I am wealthy, feel the freedom and confidence that wealth brings. When you say, I am loved, allow yourself to experience the warmth and joy of love. Your emotions are the fuel that gives life to your words. Understand that you are always creating with your words, whether consciously or unconsciously. Choose to speak only that which you wish to see manifest. Let your words be a tool for empowerment, not limitation. Let them build, not destroy. And most importantly, let them affirm the truth of who you really are, a limitless creator, capable of shaping your reality with every word you speak. Everything in your life is a reflection of the words you have consistently spoken, the beliefs you have held, and the feelings you have nurtured. Manifestation is not about hoping or wishing, it is about knowing, declaring, and allowing. Your imagination shapes your reality, your present moment holds the key, your feelings set the foundation, and your faith removes all doubt. Detachment accelerates the process, and your words become the final command that brings everything into form. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. The question is not whether you are manifesting, but what you are manifesting. If you speak lack, you will experience lack. If you affirm struggle, struggle will follow. But the moment you take control of your words, your emotions, and your beliefs, you shift your entire reality. You no longer wait for things to happen, you declare them as done. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer hope, you know. Speak with conviction, feel with certainty, trust the unseen, and most importantly, detach from the how and when. Once you declare something as yours, the universe will respond in ways beyond your imagination. Let go of fear, doubt, and impatience. Walk with confidence, knowing that everything is already unfolding in your favor. Thank you for listening, and may you use these truths to shape a life of abundance, joy, and limitless possibilities. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, close your eyes for a moment, and listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. There is a secret few understand, and fewer still dare to apply. But if you grasp this truth and embody it, you will witness the impossible bending before you. You have been told that reality is fixed, that circumstances dictate your life. But I tell you, you are the creator of your world. The forces that shape your destiny do not lie outside of you, they are within. And if you desire change, if you seek to manifest what seems impossible, you must learn the art of impressing your mind with certainty. There is a simple technique, a practice so powerful that those who apply it correctly see their desires materialize in ways that defy logic. It is this: find a statement that affirms the reality you wish to experience and repeat it 10 times with absolute conviction. Not as a mere chant, not as empty words, but as truth. Say it as though the walls around you will shift to accommodate it. Say it as though the universe is bending to your will. Say it until you feel it sinking deep into your being, until your very cells vibrate with its reality. Do not concern yourself with the how. The how is not your concern. That is the work of the unseen, the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. Your only task is to assume its completion, to repeat it with unwavering belief. Here is your test. Choose now what you desire, frame it in words of fulfillment, and then say it as times. With each repetition, feel the shift. With each repetition, the impossible begins to dissolve. There will come a moment, perhaps days from now, perhaps sooner, when you will see the first signs, a whisper of evidence, a ripple in the world around you. Do not doubt it. It is the first movement of a reality already formed. Continue even when your senses argue otherwise. Persist even when logic denies it, and watch as the world bends to reflect the truth you have declared. What once seemed impossible will stand before you, undeniable and real, not because you wished for it, but because you assumed it was already yours. Repetition is the language of the subconscious mind. Every thought you dwell upon, every phrase you repeat, and every image you hold persistently in your mind becomes a seed planted deep within your being. And like any seed, it does not remain dormant. It takes root, grows, and eventually manifests as the reality you experience. Your subconscious mind does not discriminate between what is true and what is false. It accepts whatever it is fed with conviction. This is why repetition is so powerful, because it impresses ideas upon your subconscious in a way that bypasses logic and skepticism. When you repeat something consistently, especially with emotion, it begins to feel natural, as if it has always been part of you. Over time, your subconscious mind takes this repeated input as fact and seeks to materialize it in your external world. Think about the habits, beliefs, and patterns you currently hold. Were they not shaped by repetition? The language you speak, the way you respond to situations, your sense of identity. These are all products of repeated exposure and reinforcement. A child does not learn to walk by trying once or twice. They attempt it again and again until it becomes second nature. Similarly, you did not adopt your present beliefs overnight. They were formed through repeated experiences, thoughts, and affirmations, whether conscious or unconscious. If repetition has the power to shape your present reality, then it also holds the power to reshape it. If you find yourself trapped in cycles of lack, struggle, or limitation, it is only because these ideas have been repeated to you by society, by your environment, and most importantly, by yourself. But the beauty of this truth is that what has been programmed can be reprogrammed. Just as negative patterns were established through repetition, they can be undone in the same way. When you begin to deliberately repeat a new thought or affirmation, you are planting a new seed in your subconscious. At first, it may feel unnatural, even false. This is because your mind is accustomed to the old programming. But if you persist, if you continue to repeat your chosen statement with conviction, something remarkable happens. The mind begins to accept it. What once felt like mere words now stirs emotion within you. Doubt fades and certainty grows. And as soon as you accept it internally, the external world begins to shift accordingly. Consider those who have achieved great success, those who have overcome impossible odds. If you look closely, you will see that they did not merely stumble into greatness, they affirmed it long before it appeared. Whether consciously or unconsciously, they repeated to themselves a vision of success, of triumph, of certainty, until it became their dominant state of being. The world, in turn, had no choice but to reflect that inner conviction. The key is not in casual repetition, but in repetition imbued with feeling. Empty words do not impress the subconscious. They are like seeds cast on barren ground. But when you repeat something with belief, with excitement, with the unwavering expectation that it is already true, then you activate the forces necessary to bring it into being. It is not the mere act of saying words that changes reality. It is the state of consciousness from which those words are spoken. This is why faith is essential. If you repeat an affirmation but secretly doubt it, you are contradicting yourself. The subconscious picks up on your dominant feeling, not just your words. So when you affirm something, do so with the full expectation that it is already yours. Do not look to the outside world for confirmation. Persist in your inner knowing. Repetition coupled with belief is the formula for transformation. There will be moments when the old patterns try to resurface. This is natural, but you must stand firm in your new reality. Continue repeating the truth you wish to experience, no matter what appears before you. The unseen forces are already at work, shifting circumstances, rearranging details, and aligning events in ways beyond your comprehension. Your only task is to remain steadfast, repeating your chosen reality until it becomes your undeniable truth. In time, what was once a mere affirmation will become your experience. What seemed distant will become your present. What once felt impossible will stand before you, undeniable and real. And when that happens, you will realize that it was never the world that changed. It was you. The words you speak hold no power on their own. They are merely sounds, empty vibrations in the air. It is the feeling behind them, the deep conviction within, that breathes life into them and makes them effective. Without feeling, words remain hollow, incapable of influencing your reality. But when a statement is saturated with belief, when it is spoken with the absolute certainty that it is already true, it becomes a force that molds the world around you. Feeling is the key because it is the language of the subconscious mind. It is what separates a mere wish from an unshakable knowing. If you observe your own life, you will notice that what you have consistently experienced is what you have deeply felt to be true. Your beliefs are nothing more than thoughts you have felt with certainty. The world does not give you what you merely say, it gives you what you feel in the depths of your being. Think of the moments in your life where you received something you truly expected. Whether it was something small or something significant, you knew it was coming. There was no doubt, no questioning, just an inner confidence, a feeling of certainty. That feeling is what caused it to materialize. The same principle applies to anything you desire. If you can cultivate the feeling of already having it, your reality will bend to match that inner state. Doubt is the greatest obstacle to manifestation. The moment you allow doubt to creep in, you cancel out the effect of your affirmations. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it is growing. You must trust the process, knowing that once you have impressed your subconscious with a feeling, the result is inevitable. Your job is not to question how it will happen, but to maintain the feeling of already having it. When you engage in affirmations or visualizations, do not do them mechanically. Instead, step into the experience fully. If you desire financial abundance, do not simply say, "I am wealthy." Close your eyes and imagine the weight of money in your hands, the feeling of security, the excitement of limitless opportunities. If you desire love, do not just say, "I am loved." Feel the warmth of companionship, the deep connection, the happiness that comes from being cherished. The more real it feels to you, the more real it becomes. This is why children manifest so effortlessly. They do not analyze or doubt, they simply feel their desires as real, and their world conforms accordingly. They can pick up a stick and believe it is a sword, feel the excitement of battle and immerse themselves so deeply in the experience that it becomes real to them in that moment. Adults lose this ability because they have been conditioned to rely only on what they can see. But the truth is, what you see is only a reflection of what you have previously felt. If you want to change what is visible, you must first change what is felt within. You do not have to force reality to change. You only have to change how you feel about it. The moment you assume the feeling of already having what you desire, your world begins to shift. People, circumstances, and events will rearrange themselves to match your new inner state. This is an unbreakable law. The only requirement is that you persist in this feeling, no matter what appears in the present moment. When you master this, you will realize that effort and struggle are unnecessary. Everything flows effortlessly to the one who feels it as already done. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable, not because you forced it into existence, but because you felt it into being. Everything you see in your world is a direct reflection of what you hold within. Your beliefs, your assumptions, and your emotions shape the experiences that unfold before you. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Every event, every circumstance, and every person you encounter is mirroring your inner state. If you truly grasp this, you will understand that you are not a victim of life, but its creator. Your thoughts and feelings are like seeds planted in the subconscious mind. Whatever you accept as true within will take root and grow, eventually expressing itself in your external reality. If you believe in limitation, struggle, and failure, then life will confirm those beliefs by presenting you with experiences that align with them. If you assume wealth, success, and happiness as your truth, then life will mold itself to reflect that inner assumption. The world is simply a projection of your dominant state of mind. Many people live under the illusion that external circumstances dictate their inner experiences. They believe that once they get the right job, meet the right person, or acquire a certain amount of wealth, they will finally feel happy, confident, or secure. But this is backward thinking. The outer world does not create your inner state. Your inner state creates the outer world. The feeling must come first. When you cultivate the emotions of success, love, and abundance within, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new state of being. This is why two people can experience the same event but interpret it in completely different ways. One person may see an obstacle as a devastating setback, while another sees it as an opportunity to grow. The event itself is neutral, but the inner perception of it determines its effect. This proves that reality is not fixed. It is fluid, bending and shifting according to the assumptions you hold about it. If you wish to change your life, you must stop looking to the outside world for confirmation and start looking within. You must take responsibility for your inner state, knowing that as you change your thoughts and emotions, your reality must change as well. This is not wishful thinking. It is an unbreakable law. The moment you assume a new mental position, whether it be one of confidence, success, or love, you set into motion unseen forces that will bring that assumption into physical form. Doubt and fear are the only barriers to this process. When you allow them to dominate your mind, you unknowingly affirm that things will not change. You give power to the very conditions you wish to escape. But the moment you shift your inner world and refuse to entertain any thought contrary to your desired state, your reality will begin to conform. Persistence is key. The world may not change instantly, but if you remain steadfast in your new assumption, the outer world will eventually reflect it. Consider the people who have transformed their lives in extraordinary ways. If you study them, you will see a common pattern. They first changed within. They did not wait for the world to change before they felt successful or powerful. They assumed those feelings first, and the world reshaped itself accordingly. The great inventors, leaders, and visionaries throughout history did not look at their present circumstances and accept them as final. They held on to an inner vision so strongly that reality had no choice but to align with it. You are no different. The same power that created worlds lives within you. The only thing keeping you from experiencing a new reality is your attachment to the old one. The moment you decide that a new state is yours and you embody it completely, the world will reflect it back to you. There is no other way. The world is not separate from you, it is a projection of you. If you want more love, be love within. If you want success, assume the feeling of success now. If you want abundance, feel the joy of abundance before it appears. The external world must and will shift in response. Change does not happen outside of you, it happens within you first. And when you make that shift, the world has no choice but to follow. What you perceive as impossible is nothing more than an illusion, a belief you have accepted as true. There are no real limits except those you place upon yourself. The world around you, the circumstances you face, and the obstacles in your way are not barriers. They are merely reflections of what you hold within. The moment you let go of the idea that something is beyond your reach, you unlock the power to bring it into reality. Impossibility is a concept created by the mind. It is not an objective truth but a conditioned response. From an early age, you have been told what is and isn't possible, what you can and cannot achieve. You have absorbed these limitations from society, from past experiences, and from the opinions of others. And yet, throughout history, people have shattered these so-called limitations time and time again. Things that were once deemed impossible, flight, instant communication across the globe, space travel, are now everyday realities. Those who accomplished these feats did not accept impossibility as fact. They assumed their vision was real long before the world reflected it. Your desires are not random. They are glimpses of the reality that is already possible for you. When you feel the pull towards something greater, it is because that reality exists in potential form, waiting to be claimed. The only thing that keeps it from materializing is your belief that it cannot happen. But the moment you assume its reality, when you truly accept that it is already yours, the process of manifestation begins. The world operates according to your assumptions. If you believe something is impossible, you will see evidence to support that belief. But if you shift your assumption and begin to see your desire as already accomplished, you will start to notice opportunities, ideas, and circumstances aligning in your favor. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back to you what you hold within. Change your assumption, and the reflection must change. Many people allow external circumstances to dictate what they believe is possible. They look at their current situation and use it as evidence of limitation. But the present moment is simply a reflection of past assumptions. If you continue to accept the limits of the past, you will continue to experience them in the future. But if you dare to assume a new reality, one beyond what seems possible, you set a new cause into motion. The future must conform to that new inner state. This is why those who achieve great things often seem unreasonable to others. They refuse to accept the world as it is. They live in the reality of their vision long before anyone else can see it. They do not wait for permission or external validation. They declare, "This is mine," and persist in that belief until the world reshapes itself to match their inner conviction. You must do the same. If there is something you desire, whether it be success, love, health, or abundance, do not ask if it is possible. Assume that it is already done. Walk through life as if your wish is already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the confidence, the relief of having what you desire. This is not pretending. It is aligning with the truth that everything is available to you the moment you claim it. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your manifestation. The moment you entertain thoughts of impossibility, you push your desire further away. But when you remain unwavering in your assumption, reality has no choice but to conform. The unseen forces of life begin working in ways you cannot predict, arranging people, events, and circumstances to bring your assumption into being. Nothing is stopping you except the beliefs you hold. The moment you release the idea of limitation, you will see doors open where before there were only walls. The moment you assume the reality of your desire, it will begin to materialize. This is not theory, it is law. The world is shaped by those who dare to assume the impossible is already theirs. Faith is the ability to see beyond what your physical eyes perceive. It is the knowing deep within that what you have claimed as true will inevitably manifest, even if there is no visible evidence. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between imagination and reality. It is the unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours, despite what circumstances may suggest. The greatest miracles in life are not produced by chance or external conditions. They are created by those who hold firm in their faith, refusing to be swayed by appearances. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. They assume that because nothing seems to be happening in the external world, Their desires are not being fulfilled. But this is where most fail to understand the nature of creation. Just because something is not yet visible does not mean it is not unfolding. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the soil, unseen forces are at work, nurturing the seed, preparing it to break through the surface at the right moment. The same is true for your desires. The moment you accept something as true in your mind, the forces of creation begin working to bring it into form. Your job is not to worry about how or when it will appear. Your job is to persist in your assumption, to remain steadfast in the belief that what you desire is already unfolding. The more you look to the outside world for validation, the more you delay the process. Faith does not rely on proof. It does not need confirmation from the senses. It sees what is not yet seen, it hears what is not yet spoken, and it knows that the unseen forces are already in motion. There are countless stories of people who have manifested what once seemed impossible simply by refusing to doubt. They did not allow their present reality to dictate what was possible. Instead, they held on to their inner vision, knowing that if they persisted in their belief, the world would eventually conform. Some of the most remarkable achievements in history were born from this kind of faith. Great inventors, leaders, and visionaries did not look at their circumstances and accept them as final. They saw beyond what was in front of them. They believed in something greater, and through their unwavering faith, they brought it into existence. Doubt is the only thing that can block what is already on its way to you. The moment you question whether your desire is possible, you disrupt the process. You introduce resistance, slowing down the very forces that were already working in your favor. But when you hold firm in your belief, when you persist despite appearances, the unseen forces continue their work uninterrupted. Everything is already being arranged in perfect order, in perfect timing. You may not see it, but you must trust that it is happening. Think of the times in your life when things seem to fall into place effortlessly. What you once thought was impossible suddenly became a reality. Perhaps an opportunity appeared out of nowhere, or a long-held desire materialized in an unexpected way. These moments were not coincidences. They were the result of faith working in the background, aligning everything to bring your desire into form. The same principle applies to anything you seek to create. The moment you truly believe and refuse to waver, the universe must respond. Faith is the most powerful force you can wield. It overrides logic, it defies limitations, and it bends reality to match your assumption. If you can hold on to your desire with complete certainty, without needing proof, without questioning, without allowing doubt to creep in, you will witness miracles unfold before your eyes. Not because of luck, not because of external circumstances, but because you believed in the unseen long enough for it to become seen. The unseen forces are already in motion. What you desire is already being prepared for you. Persist. Do not waver. Do not let appearances deceive you. Hold firm in your faith, and the miracle you seek will become your reality. The key to bringing your desires into reality is to live as though they are already fulfilled. Do not wait for evidence. Do not seek external confirmation. Assume it is already yours. The moment you accept your desire as a present reality rather than a distant possibility, you shift your entire world. You no longer hope, wish, or wonder, you know. And it is this knowing that calls forth the unseen forces to bring it into form. Most people live in a state of waiting. They wait for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel different. They wait for more money before they feel wealthy, for love before they feel adored, for success before they feel accomplished. But in doing so, they place their power outside themselves. They tell the universe, I do not have this yet. And the universe faithfully reflects that assumption. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you assume to be true. If you continue to wait, you will always be waiting. But the moment you begin living in the state of the wish fulfilled, the world has no choice but to match your inner reality. To live as though it is done means to shift your entire state of being. It is not about forcing action or pretending. It is about embodying the feeling of already having what you desire. How would you move through life if you knew, without a doubt, that your wish was fulfilled? How would you speak? How would you carry yourself? What thoughts would dominate your mind? When you step into that version of yourself, everything around you begins to shift to accommodate that new reality. You may wonder, how can I act as if I have something when I don't see it yet? The answer is simple: imagination. Your mind is the creator of all things. When you imagine something vividly and emotionally, your subconscious mind accepts it as real. It does not differentiate between what is seen and what is imagined. If you persist in this assumption, if you make it your dominant state, the outer world will be compelled to conform. This is not mere theory, it is the way creation works. Look around at your life right now. Everything you experience is a reflection of past assumptions. You have already been manifesting your reality, whether you were conscious of it or not. If you want to change your world, you must first change your state. And you do that by assuming right now that what you desire is already yours. You do not need to wait for proof. You do not need to see movement to believe it is happening. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the unseen forces are already in motion. Everything is shifting, aligning, rearranging itself to match your assumption. The outer world is merely a reflection of your inner state. It cannot remain the same if you have changed within. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your manifestation. If you allow your current circumstances to dictate your belief, you will keep yourself trapped in the same reality. But when you refuse to be influenced by appearances, when you hold steadfast in your assumption, the world must yield. It must take the shape of your new belief. This is not magic, it is law. Those who have achieved great things have always understood this principle, whether consciously or unconsciously. They did not wait for success before they saw themselves as successful. They did not wait for wealth before they felt abundant. They became the thing they sought, and in doing so, they attracted it effortlessly. You must do the same. Right now, in this moment, step into the version of yourself who has already received. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement of having what you desire. Let it consume you. Let it shape your thoughts, your words, your actions. Move through the world as if it is done. And soon you will see that it is done. Everything you desire is already within you, waiting to be expressed. The key to manifesting even the impossible lies in your ability to assume its reality now. Through repetition, you impress your subconscious mind with the truth of your desire. By feeling it deeply, you breathe life into it. When you recognize yourself as the cause of your reality, you take back your power. The illusion of impossibility fades the moment you accept that there are no limits except those you believe in. Faith moves unseen forces, and your persistence ensures their fulfillment. And above all, by living as though it is already done, you align yourself with the reality you seek, allowing it to unfold effortlessly. Let go of doubt. Stop waiting for signs. Assume it, feel it, and walk in the certainty that it is already yours. The world must conform to your inner reality. Thank you for embracing this truth. Keep persisting, keep believing, and watch as miracles unfold before your eyes.